guys, today we're going to go into Terra's strength and how strong is Terra in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. So, today we're going to be starting with the Terra we all know and we all love from Birth by Sleep. So, to be honest with you, I think Terra is the second or maybe the strongest out of the Birth by Sleep trio, due to the fact that I think Ventus might actually be the weakest out of the three of them, due to the fact that Terra was able to fight Master Ericus and even defeat him, and he was even able to push Xehanort. I know that was because he had Xehanort's darkness at the time, and he still does, but still, he was able to do it. And with Xehanort's darkness, he became even more powerful than we even thought was possible in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Now, we do know he lost to Aqua, which is that possibly Aqua could be stronger than Terra, but today we aren't here to prove who's stronger. Today we're going to be talking about how strong Terra is. Now, when we get into this type of discussion, I believe that Terra actually in the, should I say, room of all of the 7 lights, I think Terra might actually be one of the more powerful out of the 7 lights. I think he could be top 3, to be honest with you. And the thing here is that I think that Terra's power in Birth by Sleep showed how strong he is to be able to defeat Ericus, even give Xigbar run for his money, and even be able to push Xehanort back, even be able to fight Xehanort and Vanitas at the same time, which represents how strong he is. Now, he doesn't have the best wits when it comes to his brain because he's very arrogant and selfish, and he wanted to become the next master. But so what? His brain might not be the strongest, but his power when it comes to wielding the Keyblade is definitely. And his design is more of like a samurai look, so he's pretty good. He hits pretty hard also if you use him in Birth by Sleep. So yeah. So I think Terra in Birth by Sleep is the second strongest out of the Birth by Sleep trio, and I think that he is maybe even stronger than Aqua if inside of his, well, should we say, more notable form of Terra. If we click over, so if we look here, we have Lingering Will, or Terra in Armor as the picture calls it. I think this form of Terra is far stronger than Aqua. Lingering Will is very powerful. He was even able to push back Terra Norte in Kingdom Hearts 3, which no one else was able to do. Terra Norte was just mowing through them as if they were grass. And the thing here with Lingering Will is that I think that many people don't understand how strong he really is, because he has Keyblade transformations. And I mean, he has about like 5 to 6 of them. He could switch it into a whip, into a bow. Even in Kingdom Hearts 2, he can ride his freaking, I don't even know what it is. He rides his, I think it's the Keyblade car thing, I don't know what it is, and he even uses that against you. He could transform his Keyblade even to a gun. So the thing here is that he has a lot of Keyblade transformations, and like Master Ericus said, and even Master Yin said, is that Keyblade transformations are really hard to master and obtain, and Terra, out of nowhere, is able to do all of that. And the funny part about it is that he's able to do all of that without even being in his body, which means we don't know how much power he really has in his lingering form, but we do know it's all of his hatred and anger that he has for Xehanort that is inside of this armor, which is very interesting because he is very fast and very strong and very quick and very precise in his armor. He's not as arrogant. He's more calm, and it's weird to think about it because in his body he was more arrogant, but inside of the armor he's more, should we say, agile and more quick on his feet. I don't know what it is, but everything just changes, which is so interesting to me. And it makes me think to myself, I think the armor of Terra could actually have had its own variation of Terra, because it's just his hatred and anger. So did his fighting style change because he was angry and hateful? Possibly. Some people even count Terra as his own character. I mean, sometimes people even count the armor of Terra as its own character, which is very interesting. But if we keep going, if we keep going past Lingering Well, we will soon go next to the Terra in KH3, but we're going to not go to that Terra yet, because we're actually going to go to Terra Norte. Now, Terra Norte is Terra, but it's Xehanort. I'll make a whole separate video on him too of how strong Terra Norte is, but we'll give it a brief strength analysis. The thing here is that Terra Norte, which we all know, is very powerful. He was able to sweep the 7 lights in just 5 minutes, and be able to handle them all and basically kill all of them. Now, the thing here is that his darkness is very impressive, and Xehanort uses his body to his full advantage. He knows that Terra isn't used for magic. He knows Terra's body is used for the brutality of beating somebody down until they can no longer fight anymore. Which is very interesting, because if you look at it in that way, Terra's arm muscle must be very, very strong. Because even in the Kingdom Hearts 3 cutscene, you can see that when Aqua is blocking his hits, she can't fully block them. Like when she hits the blade, she just staggers back. And then when he tries to swing again, she has to use both of her hands to move out of the way and to also block at the same time. Which shows that Terra's hits are heavy. Very, very heavy. And the interesting thing here to say about that is that Aqua was able to defeat Terra Norte, but it probably wasn't with her strength, it was probably with her magic, due to the fact that his hits caused Aqua to stutter and stagger, which is very interesting, because that actually represents how strong Terra really is, because I think Aqua is probably the second strongest Keyblade master out of the 7 lights, right under Sora. So the weird thing here is that really makes me think that Terra Norte, which is Xehanort and Terra, even without training, shows how strong Terra really is when he swings his Keyblade. It's heavy, it's aggressive, it makes you feel oppressed and weak because you can't probably do much against it. And it's very interesting to think, because Terra is such a quick hitter in his Terra Norte form, but is such a heavy hitter at the same time. It's so weird. And if we get to Terra in KH3, we know how strong Terra is. He hasn't trained for a while, but he did come back. And the thing here is that he was able to fight against the darknesses with Sora in them to give time to defeat Xehanort, which is pretty impressive. And Terra was one of those darknesses. And for him to have the effort and time to still even fight after being broken out of being in, as people call it, the stand, but we all know what it's really called, being able to break out of the dark shadow that Terra Norte summons, it's very interesting, because if you think of it that way, I'm surprised Terra wasn't even tired after doing all of that, even after Xehanort used his body for all of that fighting and aggressive fighting. And it's interesting because it shows Terra's will is very strong, because for him to be able to move even after all of that fighting, outside of his body, in his body, the damage he took while not even in the body from Aqua, Ventus, and Sora probably just attacking him over and over again, is very impressive. And it shows that Terra, even being outside of his body to just being put right into his body, cares about his friends more than anything else, because he went to go check up on them quicker than anything possible. Which shows that Terra's will is probably one of the strongest in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, and we all know that will represents power in Kingdom Hearts. It represents how far someone will go in Kingdom Hearts to show their strength, their knowledge, their wits, and even magic. And I think Terra is a pretty good character. I know a lot of people dislike Terra, but I think he's very strong. I think he's very powerful, actually, because he even gave Sora a run for his money in Kingdom Hearts 2 at the end because of the Keyblade transformations. And we didn't get to see much of him in Kingdom Hearts 3, but we know what Terra Norte can do, so it's just everything Terra Norte can do, Terra can do, so it's very interesting. But we'll see how strong Terra becomes later on in the future in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. I think he could actually become more of a powerful ally, and maybe one of the top needed to be able to even defeat the Master of Masters. But what do you think? Please leave a like and leave a comment down below if you think that's true, and subscribe. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.